Might not be the hottest.
Dude, it tastes good. What is it, like a mocha or something? It's like got chocolate.
Like a vanilla latte.
Holy shit.
I chugged mine already.
So good.
Got that from Trophies this morning. Place is kind of legit.
Trophies?
Trophies. You remember we're Goodies?
Yeah.
So it's Trophies now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Whoa.
The gal, Madeline, who owns Millennial Decor right next to
Yeah, right on. Yeah, she was on your podcast.
Yeah. He's watching.
Yeah.
She bought it. So now she's operating the coffee shop.
Awesome.
And her design studio.
Right on.
You know,
yeah,
next
and they're
door.
still doing coffee at the Outpost too, right?
Oh, yeah. But I got that before the Outpost was open.
Mm-hmm.
I try to go to both places.
Yeah.
You know, because I like them both.
The Ideal Kitchen.
It was dope.
It's a great spot.
Yeah.
It's like one of the best kitchen stores ever.
You guys always go there when you come in town.
Oh my God, Carrie's going there now.
Is she really?
Yeah.
Is she gonna be all right on her own without you while you're in here?
Should be fine. Yeah. We're gonna head up to the mountain, the Crystal Mountain.
Oh, you're gonna do some skiing?
Yeah, she's never done it before.
She's never skied before.
Never. She's got a lesson at 1:00.
Holy shit. Well, there's plenty of snow up there now.
Yeah, it's gonna be good.
You know, it's gonna be killer. It's gonna be busy up there, man.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's never skied.
No. Only cross country.
Are you a skier?
Snowboard.
Oh, well, you'll dig it. I don't do any winter sports.
And you live here and you never?
Yeah.
Never?
No.
No?
I'm just a summer guy. I enjoy the winter. It doesn't bother me that it's cold and snowy or whatever.
Right.
You know, the older I get, the less I give a shit.
Yep.
But I'm a summer guy. I just love being.
I mean, here the summer's amazing.
It's like being in California, dude.
I just like we were sitting this morning just watching the waves crash because it's like it's insane. They're twice the size they were yesterday.
This episode is brought to you by the Ramsdale Regional Center for the Arts. You can find them online at www.ramsdaletheater.org. The folks over at the Ramsdale Regional Center for the Arts want to let you know about their Winter Blues Beach Bash that's happening on February 16th at 7:30 p.m. They want you to know that you can break free from your winter blues and experience a night of tropical escape complete with beach vibes, cool tunes, and refreshing drinks. Don't miss the hottest party in town featuring the Downtowners. The Downtowners are a veteran group of musicians from northern Michigan that are still playing out and still having fun. The party starts at 7:30. Tickets are on sale now for $25. Get yours today because it will sell out fast. That's February 16th, folks, at the Ramsdale Regional Center for the Arts. This episode is brought to you by Brandon Ball, broker-owner of Dwelling Realty, Keller Williams, Northern Michigan. Are you looking to sell your home? Then look no further. When you list your home with Brandon Ball, you'll get a trusted advisor who will guide you through the entire selling process. With extensive knowledge of the local market, he'll help price your home competitively to attract the right buyers. And with proven marketed strategies, your home will be seen by the most qualified of buyers. With 17 years in the business, you'll have someone experienced who's on your side. Contact Brandon today to get started selling your home. 231-690-4981. That's 231-690-4981. Or Brandon at dwellingrealty.com. This episode is brought to you by Northern Spice Company, located at 378 River Street, Manistee, Michigan. You can contact them at 231-299-7492 or at spices@northernspiceco.com. Listen, folks, are you the type of person that just grinds in the kitchen trying to make a top-shelf culinary experience for your loved ones? You're in the kitchen trying to make the best meatloaf, the best pot of chili, the absolute best pot of goulash. Where are you getting your spices? That's what I want to know. Where are you getting your spices? You're going to put all that hard work into making something that is an absolute masterpiece for your family, but you're going to skimp on the spices? What? Look, if you're buying your spices at the supermarket, I'm sorry. I feel sorry for your family. Because what could have been an amazing meal didn't quite come out the way you wanted it to, did it? But if you shopped at Northern Spice Company in Manistee, they make everything on site. They mix all their own spices. This stuff is there's no added preservatives, Nothing extra added in other than the spice. Hey, you don't know where your spices are coming from when you pick them up off the shelf at Walmart. There could be wood chips in there for all you know. Not from Northern Spice Company. Use their Simple 3. I put that shit on everything. Sea salt, fresh ground black pepper, fresh ground roasted garlic. One stop. Sprinkle that on. Mwah. They have a steak season called Manistee Steak Seasoning, a holy hamburger, the Simple 3 like I already talked about, the pure maple sugar barbecue rub, the 1871 pork and poultry barbecue rub. I could go on and on. Hey, and don't skimp on the international seasonings either. No salt Italian seasoning, Saison seasoning, Italian seasoning with rosemary, and Greek seasoning. They also have a wide array of no salt choices, sauces, salsas, and syrups. Oh, but that's not all. They have one of the largest selections of teas in the county. Chamomile, Earl Grey, peach decaf, Italian breakfast. You want chai tea? They got that too. Ever heard of mango black tea? Neither have I. Spice Company's got it. How about a little Irish breakfast? They got that too. How about a little white chai? Yeah, it can keep going and going, folks. Northern Spice Company has all that you need to spice up your life and to warm yourself up with a little tea. Check them out, folks. Again, that's Northern Spice Company at 378 River Street, Manistee, Michigan. You can check them out at northernspiceco.com, or you can contact them at 231-299-7492, or send them a little love letter at spices@northernspiceco.com. Spice up your life. Sick as that experience at the hotel.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Did you like it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the room's great. Super clean. Everything's nice.
I tagged Peter, the CEO.
Oh, yeah.
In the story.
Oh, great.
I threw it up. Put your story up there. That was really good, dude. I don't have the bandwidth to do like a super a video like that. Post it within 30 seconds of coming here. I'm just like, wow.
Yeah. All right. Well,
What'd you think of the Golden Stag last night?
that was delicious.
I forget that you spend a lot of time in Onekama, so you know them guys.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They're great.
Yeah.
Also, that's a cool dude, and like he and his wife have done amazing things down there. Like honestly, the food at the just a little food at the takeout place at the Portage Point Inn. The pizzas are great. The Reuben, like my father-in-law he'll eat the Reuben like 6 times.
I mean, the pizza that we had last night, I thought was fantastic.
That tasted great. Yeah, the crust was great.
Yeah,
tasted really good. And we had that elk.
Holy cow. I didn't even realize what you ordered. What was that?
Elk? Yeah, they called it the yellow stag. It was like the signature dish, and it was a piece of elk tenderloin, but it had like this really chewy outside skin on it, and I'm eating it and I'm thinking, what is this? It's delicious. And then Carrie's like, oh yeah, it's like pork. It was like wrapped in pork.
Oh no shit.
Yeah, I guess like pork skin or something. I don't know. I need a Lipitor after that.
Yeah, dude. I mean, that was a good time. I mean, probably one too many beers for this guy, but we had a good time.
Ah, man, that's always it's always a good thing to have an extra beer. It doesn't hurt.
It doesn't. It didn't hurt. It didn't hurt. I slept like a baby.
Yeah, exactly.
So
it was delicious. Good Michigan IPA. Can't go wrong.
Yeah. I pulled up your Instagram.
Yeah.
Just to kind of remind me from when we first met years ago. And dude, it's evolved so much. But I do want to talk. We have a podcast that's in the ether someplace that's never been posted.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I do want to kind of go back and reintroduce you to everybody. I want to talk about Trust Me brand and Van Gogh and the connection to Michigan.
Oh yeah.
And you're kind of a jet setter these days. I mean, Florida, Detroit, Northern Michigan,
right?
And you're all over gigging.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the first time I saw you on Instagram. I'm like, who the fuck is this guy up in Onekama with this captain's hat on? And then you like lose. There's this whole story where like he loses this hat somewhere. Was that like a gimmick, or did you literally?
No, I literally lost the hat. So what happened? I had the captain's hat.
Yeah.
And I had it on the boat up here because we bought Champagne Dreams,
which is an awesome name for a boat.
Our 1980 Sea Ray cabin cruiser that we bought on the side of the road after a couple of good Michigan beers, and so I had the cap, which I wore and was excited to have the boat. But then in August of 2019. My buddies from Detroit flew down to Florida. We went to St. Petersburg and watched the Tigers game on Friday night. Saturday morning, we were going on a fishing trip.
Yeah.
So we went on a fishing trip, and that's the day that I lost the tip of my ring finger on my left hand. And I was wearing that hat, and when I stood, like the hat blew off, which is what caused me to stand up, which is what like led to me sitting back and losing the finger with the little latch on the boat. And the hat went in, and so like I was making all these posts about I'm making these posts about like losing my finger.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I'm thinking when it happened, I was like, holy crap, I'll never play guitar again because that's the cat scratch fever finger, to use a Michigan rock and roll guy's term, right?
Yep.
And somebody put it out there. They said, but where's the cap? We got to find the cap. So then it started this whole thing. There were all these people rooting for me, and there were people in Florida. In Michigan, and they were like, they would make videos. They go down to the water,
find the cap. Some
people bought it. I had one guy, such a cool dude. He actually went to Croatia on vacation, and the whole time he had pictures of the cap, and he was looking for it. And like, he found one. He found like one matching, and then he came to my office one day with like, you know, these souvenirs from Croatia. It was a Croatian sea captain's hat that I got when we took a little vacation over to Croatia.
Okay.
And so this guy found. And then somebody else sent me another one, but it was, you know, they made a video about it, but it was a fake captain's hat and stuff. And it was fun. But that was the hat thing, so that's how that all started with the
And then, like,
cap.
Where did the Trust Me brand come out of all that?
Well, the Trust Me brand started when I left. I worked in the corporate world for 18 and a half years. And when I left the corporate world and started my own, I launched a Schaller group. And one day I was, you know, I had like a couple of weeks where I was home alone because Carrie was on a tour playing over in Japan. And I just started thinking, like, it'd be cool to do something that was a little more philanthropic and, you know, kind of what I believe in. So, I had the headshot that I took that I used for all my profile stuff.
So fucking good, too.
Which was a mistake, you know. It was really funny. And when I took it, my buddy in Tampa was like, Joe was like, dude, you got to look at this. Like, you got to do something with this. And I was like, it is pretty funny.
Yeah.
So at first, I just put it out on social media. I put it in my LinkedIn page, and everybody's like, what is this? Because everybody else is so formal and everything.
I know. My LinkedIn picture is like me in a shirt and tie.
It's like the last thing I picture you in, you know? So I put this thing up there, and like I'm like this, and all I can think is like a politician or something, like, trust me. But then I'm like, what if I spun the trust me message, not necessarily to say, like, trust me, like I'm trying to, you know, sell you something like that's not good or whatever. But what if trust me actually meant like a message that if you followed certain things in life, if you were a good person. So I came up with the whole slogan: you have a duty to smile, to be kind, to travel, and do good deeds, because love and smiles make the world a better place. If you think worldly, you'll be prosperous. Trust me, right?
Love it. I fucking love it.
And so it's not trust me, it's trust the message. And like, if you can follow the message. So I made the Trust Me caps, which I sent to you and brought down here at one point. And I just started like taking them with me everywhere. And I would write a note and say, congratulations, you've, you know, found the Trust Me cap, and now you have a duty. So I need you to read the message. If you can't live up to this message, or if you have no desire to live to this message, I need you to give this hat to somebody that will. And people were like, oh, wow, you know. And they started like, I started getting hashtags, like Trust Me hashtags, and people posting stuff saying, I don't know who this person is, but I found this hat. And then I was like, go to Mexico, or like I'd put them in the mail, and I made stickers, and I'd like sit and drink beer on Saturday and like spend an hour. And I just put like 100 stickers in like an envelope and send it to like Tavern on the Green in New York City, or like random hotels and places far away. And people would take them and they'd go crazy over them and put the stickers everywhere. So the stickers ended up all over the place too. So it was like,
the stickers are everywhere. They're everywhere. And the pins, then
the pins, the stickers, all that stuff. So it just kind of took off, and I just embraced it. And then we talked about the beer, which I did that. I've brought that back a couple of times, but I really
the beer was great. I almost forgot about that. And then some of this stuff, oddly, I think it's because like these things listen to us.
Yeah.
Like the old memories came up from when
Isn't
you were
that
here,
wild?
and we were drinking the beers, and we took all those pictures. I'm
Yeah.
gonna try to find those and put them in this post.
Oh, yeah.
They're great.
Yeah.
They're great, and it was in the heat of COVID.
Right.
We all had masks on.
Yeah.
Trying to talk and drink beer. Yeah, that was a good time.
That was
a good time.
It-
Yeah, Trust Me Pilsner.
yeah. The Trust Me Cap.
Yeah.
Classic American Pilsner.
Yeah, classic American Pilsner. It was good beer.
Yeah, it's great beer. The guys that helped me brew that and came up with the recipe, we did a full-on taste test. I tried to, we talked a little bit last night that my whole family came over to Michigan on the Michigan land grant and had Arsenal Road over in Flat Rock, Michigan.
Okay, yeah, we talked about downriver last night.
We did, yeah. So 500 acres they got back in the day, and they farmed it. And so my whole idea behind the classic American Pilsner, I have this buddy Chris, who's a big beer guy that does his own home brewing and everything. And because I had the Trust Me cap, which was the hat that I was putting everywhere, he goes, have you heard of a classic American Pilsner? And I'm, no, tell me about this. That's how we landed on that beer. And I pulled ingredients for the beer from the water, tried to match the water profile of Detroit, where I spent most of my life. And then German hops, and just kind of followed the profile of my family and stuff to create it. But yeah, got to bring that back.
You got to bring it back. That's that was last night we were talking about side hustles and stuff like that. How is it going? How is the Trust Me stuff? Are you focused on it, or are you more focused on the Van Gogh, your band?
Yeah, I mean, I'm focused on Van Gogh for sure. The Schaller group, which is what kind of propelled me into going out on my own.
Yeah.
I still got projects with that. I still do stuff. I still promote the Trust Me stuff whenever I can, and I get, I do stuff locally in Florida, do stuff up here, and I'll promote that. But our other business is now with my business partners with Peacock Capital.
Yeah, I was just looking at that. I'm like, what is Peacock Capital?
Yeah. So what happened is my good friend Ken Pulcinelli, he and I started at the company that we worked for, the corporate. We both worked there almost 18 years together. We started in 1999. When I started the Schaller Group, he had left the company just before I did and started Peacock Capital.
Okay.
With the idea, we grew up in the apartment business. That was it. There we go.
Trust me.
Yeah.
So good, dude. So yeah, go ahead. Say more.
Yeah, so we worked for a private real estate company here in Michigan, at Ann Arbor. We had real estate holdings across the United States, and he and I were on airplanes traveling all over the place, worked there forever. And we mainly owned and operated apartment buildings. And so we said, what if we did this for ourselves? And he started the company, bought a couple of deals. And then when I started the Schaller Group and left the company, he and I started talking about partnering. I helped him renovate a couple of the first apartment buildings that he purchased with other outside partners. And then we formally formed a partnership and started buying apartment buildings. And grew that over the course of 2020, 2021, and 2022 to the point where we now have 2,600 apartments.
That's insane, dude.
In Florida.
Now that you own.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. We own, and we've got outside equity partners that help us purchase the stuff, that we partner with. And we own 2,600 apartments. From that, because we always worked in a management company capacity, we started our own management company, so we now have Aligned Communities that just over 55 employees working with us. And I designed an apartment building. We're going to start development now. We're going to build apartments because it's gotten expensive to buy old apartments, and we've figured out a way that we can build apartments for the same price that you can buy old apartments.
I was just going to ask you, how do you pick your investment? I mean,
well, everything we buy is between Orlando to Gainesville to Tampa, so our geography is super tight. We can be anywhere in 2 hours. So we just said, look, we spent, half of our lives on an airplane, and it's really tough to manage real estate when you can't touch, taste, and feel it every single day. So how do we develop a portfolio and a business that operates in a way that we can get out there, we can be with the team that's working with us, we can be hands-on every single day, and engaged with the business. And so that's how we chose our geography, really. And so buildings that we buy, we're not Class A. We don't buy the luxury Class A $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 a month apartments. It's workforce housing. People that get up and go to work every single day. That's it. So we buy at a certain basis and price point that makes sense so that we can charge rents that people that get up and, firefighters, school teachers, service industry employees, people that are, literally just working their butts off every day, need a place to live and a nice place to live. So we figured we'll be housing providers and fit into that segment of the kind of housing market. So.
That's really awesome. So when you look to build something, then that focuses on that category.
Same thing. Yeah. So literally, like, personally, I've walked probably 125,000 apartments at this point throughout my career, because like you'll see it, like you watch my social posts, and I know it bounces all over the place. I'm like a like a cat.
I mean, I can get a little like, oh, I'm mine too. I'm all over.
Yeah. You know better than anybody else. I mean, this is why you and I have always gotten along. But took all of those years of experience of walking apartments, managing apartments, operating apartments, owning apartments, and said, if we designed a building, how do we design a building, and especially in Florida, that's going to withstand hurricanes, termites, the wear and tear of residents living with you, and how do we build a building that's going to kind of be like a bulletproof building for operations, and how do we build it so that the cost of building makes sense, so that when we get done, because you know this, because you've done commercial real estate, you've owned this building, you've sold it, you've done things. So how do you create a model where you can build so that when you finance it and you have your investors that you pay back and you align everybody to do well with the real estate, including the residents? We started with the end in mind and said, what do people make and what can they afford for rent? And how do we build a building for a cost that makes sense so that we can pay the mortgage, pay the investors, pay ourselves, do what we have to do, and still be able to charge the rent that the person that lives with us can afford?
I mean, that sounds like some perfect world shit.
It's been a lot of work for a lot of years.
I don't know any developer that thinks that way.
They don't. We never sell, too. That's our whole thing. So everything that we own today, we'll own forever. Our thought is that the way that you make housing affordable is every time you sell, it's expensive, right?
Yeah.
The price goes up. Somebody has to make money. There's closing costs. There's a lot of work that goes into it. There's a lot of financing costs. There's all the thises and that's. Everybody always wants to come in and renovate, do new things. That costs money. Every time you're spending money and increasing the value of the real estate, somebody's got to pay for it, right?
Right.
So for us, if we can increase value by fixing things that are broken, make it very nice for people to live there, but then maintain it over time, the curve and the triangle goes like this, because you're paying down, but you're increasing value, people are paying rent, and it's a perfect opportunity to keep rents reasonable and to really understand and know your building so that you lower your operating costs and things. It's like, we did it. We didn't come up with the concept ourselves. We just happened to work for a company that's what they did.
Okay.
And we saw how well it worked, and we said, what if we did this for ourselves? And if we did it for ourselves, and if we're going to build a building, how do we build a building that fits that model?
Yeah, right.
So we vertically integrated. So now we're our own GC, Vitruvian Housing. Vitruvian Steel is our steel manufacturing company that builds wall panels to erect the building. We've Nate, the lead singer in the band, is now the president of Armour and Associates, which is an HVAC supply company. We basically direct source and buy, like through distributor relationships, direct with the manufacturers of HVAC equipment, and sell direct to developers and sell direct to the public and people who need the equipment. And so we bought that business, and he's operating it now as the president. It's in 6 states here in the Midwest: Michigan, Ohio, Indiana, Illinois, Kentucky, Pennsylvania, all Ohio, all Midwest. And then we layered on and bolted on and said, what can we do air conditioning in Florida? And by doing that, can we direct buy the equipment for us so that we lower our cost? And then we can sell the outside world with a little bit greater margin, still cut the competition wherever we can to make it affordable and fit what people need. And so we've just vertically integrated every component of it. So
that sounds brilliant. I mean, it's like I said, it's admirable what you're doing.
You're nice to say that.
But I mean, you're making money, but I mean, you're doing it in a way that, we need housing like that around here, man.
Yeah,
there is no housing around here.
Yeah.
And people just can't afford
Right.
You're building something that, the mindset of like, all right, this is what like this average working class person can afford. So how do we build it so that they can afford the rent? I'm not hearing that in anything.
No.
You know what I mean?
No. And I think society is kind of programmed that way too. I mean, you and I are all over social media.
Yeah.
It's all about making yourself look like you're loaded, like you're rich, and like you got this and that, and you can afford the rent, and people taking pictures in these luxury apartments and stuff. And it's like, I think there's no shame in hard work, and we need more people that work in the trades. We need more people that work and like keep the economy going and support what we're trying to do. There's nothing wrong with that, but why not try to figure out a way to build housing that's not like affordable, where you're taking a government subsidized. It costs the same to build a Class A building as it does to build a building that is going to be subsidized with like vouchers or that the government's going to help chip in to pay for the developer to build the building, or, grants and whatever else, right? So how do we fit in the middle so we don't have to get involved with any type of government subsidies?
Yeah, because I was going to ask you if you lean into any of that to try to help get your properties built or rehab, because I always felt like once you dip your toe into that arena, now you're answering to the government. Like you have to do, now in order to get this money, you have to do all of these things.
Yeah.
And you have to, and it kind of handcuffs you a little bit.
A little bit. Yeah. And what ends up happening is instead of people making good business decisions about the real estate and the operating of the apartment communities and stuff, they get paid fees by way of bolting on some of these programs and tying into this stuff. And so it becomes more about how do we get the fees so we make money on it, because we know we're not going to make money on the real estate. We just said, no, you got to stay true to the real estate and just try to do this yourself. You can do public, they call it naturally occurring affordable housing is the new name that they're